Shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a
looking
bat, I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And I ain't gon' wish you shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
What's up? What's going on? Heal the Ring Podcast Nation. Salute. I am your host, BX Sports Jedi Kevin, meet with Athletic Mind. Welcome on the Heal the Ring Podcast. How you doing today, pal?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me on once again.
Oh, man, we're trying to convince you to be a partner, a staple on the channel because we are enjoying here. But let's get into wrestling. What's going on to the chat? Everyone in the chat, number one draft pick, Johnny Davis is listening with us here. A lot of good things in the world of wrestling in 2024. A lot of speculations. These are all speculation, and makes me wonder if they're watching the Disney Plus series or my reviews with the what ifs. There's a lot of what ifs going on in the wrestling business, and the big one here. We all know tomorrow, Thursday, Triple H has an announcement to make. He has an announcement. I wonder what in the world the announcement is going to be. There's a lot of speculation that there's now that we know TKO Endeavor has a streaming platform, and now that Impact Wrestling became TNA Wrestling, and now they're under the umbrella of Endeavor Plus. They're this Friday on the 5th of January. They're going to launch the streaming platform. I believe it's $9.99, and then and no longer calling their pay-per-views. They are changing their names to premium live events. Before I say there, what's your thoughts as we go on with that there for you to digest?
I've seen the whole thing with TKO and WWE. Then they went and did the I think they were already with the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. TKO. Then somehow now WWE and UFC is combined somehow, like not combined, but if they are to do business with each other, it'll be quite relatively easy because TKO is involved, right? So now with TNA joining the mix, this is a game changer. I haven't watched TNA in a minute, but I'm sure there's lots of talent over there. You know what I'm saying, that could mix it up with a lot of the WWE guys. But as far as them really just merging all together, I'm not too sure about that because we know WWE, they like to keep their budget really under wraps. So I wouldn't see them paying guys from you know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like it'll be occasional crossover moments that we'll get.
Right. And again, I'm asking the what if because I'm not even saying that the WWE will absorb TNA Wrestling. I think TNA, after going after that name change, and they announced it in October on their last pay-per-view, they mentioned that they're going to now change it to premium live events. Changing the name from Impact to TNA Wrestling cost a lot of money. Now, they also were very active with similar free agents like CM Punk. Seeing that Scott D'Amore, the president and owner of TNA, willing to work and listen, and we've seen them in the past work with Tony Khan, with Impact Wrestling, with New Japan Wrestling, those working relationships. I don't think WWE will, if it happens, if it's true of all the what if, I don't think WWE will bring on all that talent on there, similar to what we saw in the early 2000s with the WCW merger. I just think personally, it's just like you said, working relationship. The Royal Rumble's coming up at the end of the month, and also the TNA has their first premium line event, Hard to Kill. You see, and also Snake Eyes in a 2 night event where maybe we might see maybe one or two WWE wrestlers show up there. Not an invasion, but show up and participate or in the crowd or setting up for another pay per view down the line. With that, or and also I could say this: we could also see other wrestlers come to the Royal Rumble. So that cross promotion is wonderful.
That'll be beautiful, man. That'll be beautiful, man. I'm swallowing the air right now. I
Yeah,
would love that. I would love to see that collaboration.
absolutely. What's going on, Chef Dan? How are you?
Salute to you, Jedi. Salute to you, Athletic. Salute to
Salute, chef.
everyone in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I'm more than welcome to talk about this. I just heard the question. If you could just rephrase it one more time, so I can
Sure.
bounce it to the people.
All right. This is a lot of speculation. What if WWE and TNA have a relationship, or actually the question: what if the WWE Endeavor? Let's even say WWE Endeavor TKO Holdings purchase TNA Wrestling or stake at TNA Wrestling. Now, with that opens the door a lot for WWE and TNA Wrestling to work together because they're under the same umbrella. I still think if it happens, Scott D'Amore will work and run TNA because he's done a hell of a job. It's not a negative reflection on what impact with on the Demore has done. I think he's done. I love TNA. You've seen that we've done on the channel watch alongs for TNA Impact before they changed their name. And again, this is only going back 2 or 3 years because I didn't watch the original TNA like yourself, Chef. Back then with the X Division with Styles, Samoa Joe, Christian, I kind of was a little exile away from them. I'm talking about this current Impact Wrestling in the last 2 years under Scott D'Amore. I've been a big fan of it, Chef.
I'm in total agreement with that thought process, but I want to bring it to a different, just a different angle. You mentioned something about possibly them merging and having one roster. I think
No,
the
no, I don't
smarter.
think so.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I think the smarter, more economically feasible, and more what is it? How do I say it? The thing that gives you the most available options at your hand is not a merger, but to stay two separate companies, but just have a working relationship. Because
Okay.
it does a few things for you. Number one, you now have like whether TKO has realized it or not, they have two separate rosters of wrestlers that don't even interact yet. Now, within the realm of wrestling, we were talking about it a couple of PLEs ago, where we said, hey, it doesn't hurt to tell some of these shorter stories. I know the long story is always the one that gives you the most money because hey, they can come out and which direction the story is going. They have a grandiose plan, and you essentially tune in every week for those stories. But I think with with this availability to sort of like kind of go back to like you're not going back to that time where it's territories, but it's essentially territories because it's two separate companies. But now you can have a working relationship that we're talking about where you tell these short stories between potentially two different rosters, and it may or may not affect the wrestler in their career, in their telling the story of who that character is.
Okay, I see that. And when I mean one under one company is under TKO Holdings. That's the parent company, and then these guys will branch off the way UFC and WWE are coexisting. UFC is still we know UFC is still run by Dana White. Dana White does all his decision making with the card, with the venues in none Triple H, Nick Khan, and for a degree, Vince doesn't say anything to do with the UFC, although Vince is part of the board, whatever the case is. But they don't interject. I see that. I could think that's where I think there will be under each other on that one umbrella, TKO Holdings and where Scott Demore will continue to, I believe, that's just speculation, ladies and gentlemen. We're not saying this is factual. We're not saying true. If you're listening to us, this is what if. If you read the title, what if TKO is King of Kings of the wrestling industry? This is a what if, and you see in the thumbnail. So I wanted to make that clear again. No one is saying this is concrete or this is 100% accurate. We're doing the what ifs here on that. So just wanted to clear that up under one company there, but everyone runs different. I think it works. And then again, I saw a comment. I always like to read my comments and make sure everybody gets acknowledged. Oh my God, if Mickey James will return. We'll get that in 2 seconds. I'm gonna let Athletic Mind jump in here on that thought. Go ahead, Athletic.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to add on to what I was saying earlier. Also, even I think around, was Vince still in control of WWE when Mickey James came back for the Women's Royal
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes, he
So
was.
so being as though he was still in full control and he was able to, allow her as the champion of TNA, to come over and still be a part of the Royal Rumble. That just speaks volumes to the fact that, I mean, of course, TNA is no threat to WWE. That lets that know, because usually Vince doesn't try to give any other company shine if he doesn't have his hands in it even a little bit. So, being as though that relationship has had a little bit, to some degree, I really don't think it'll be a problem for, if it happens, if Triple H, comes, they're able to coexist, like you said.
I think so too. And of course, that opens up those possibilities. As Dear Clean mentioned, oh my God, Mickey James is returning. Mickey James is a free agent as well. Mickey James, her Impact TNA contract or obligations has come to a fulfillment. She's a total free agent. She mentioned herself that she would like to return to the WWE. We all know her husband is currently in the WWE, Nick Aldis. Also, kind of making a friendly relationship with Fallon Henley from NXT. Um, and maybe we could see that hardcore country tag team or tutelage there between Fallon Henley and Mickey James. 2024 will let us know. The Royal Rumble's there. We could have some one-offs where WWE, maybe they don't want to bring their NXT talent to the Royal Rumble, or maybe they just want to have, there's going to be so much matches or 3 different matches with the women and not reuse them at the Rumble. They could bring in TNA wrestlers to fill out with it to NXT, and of course your favorites to win the Rumble matchup. So a lot of good things happen there, but I think what I am more excited about is that that TV deal where now Impact, if you get their package, because not everyone has Axiom TV. Axiom, that's terrible service with, I don't know what's the contract. I have Direct TV. I get to watch it. Some of them can watch it on YouTube, or if you don't have
Yeah.
if Direct TV,
Wait,
it's a
they're
little
on
bit difficult to
Axis?
get there. Yes.
I've had them this entire time, and oh man. Oh, thank you, Jedi. Thank you.
No, that's the thing. You don't hear them promoting it also because of the lack of budget, maybe for the marketing for promotions on there. That's the thing that hurts them. Not everybody wants to go to Fightful Select, or there's nothing wrong with that. With the Zone, has been in the United States. We know it failed for boxing. I think you know about it because we talked about the boxing. You enjoy boxing,
Yeah,
and the Zone didn't really hit the American people or the American public to want to go pay the $9.99. There was not a lot of good content with the
yeah.
boxing matches there, and that failed.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. But like I said, I think this would be great for wrestling, man. I like to see more crossover. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't have to be one great big competition. We get that WWE wants to crush the competition at all times. Sometimes, they can really bring life to TNA at this point. TNA has been hot since the mid 2000s, in my opinion. I'm sure they still do great work over there, but in terms of being, at their best, you know what I'm saying? That hasn't been the things, like I said, the mid 2000s. So it's like, I would like to see them get a little bit more shine, because I'm sure they have tremendous talent over there that's not getting broadcast enough.
I
I
also,
agree with you. Good, chef.
yeah, I was saying, I also think that just the mentality, because Vince is gone, has changed. when you hear Triple H, like when they try to set him up with a question about what's going on in AEW or what's going on in another company, he always states they do what they do over there, we do what we do. Like, and it's at this point, like, I think Triple H has come to the understanding because he is a younger mind than Vince, and he's, you know, I'm not saying he's grown up in these times, but as an adult, he can understand the landscape. Like, there is so much streaming platforms. Yeah, you can crush the competition, but it's not like people are just gonna stop, you know, liking what they like.
Exactly. Because no matter what, there's diehard fans. You know,
There's
there's a
fans
diehard.
of,
Yeah.
and I'm not even talking about there's diehard fans of AEW. There's just diehard fans of pro wrestling that when they come home, that nothing serves them better than watching someone grapple with someone. And it doesn't even matter if it's WWE, AEW, TNA. He could be watching all monkey wrestling, AMW. I don't know. I'm just making something up right there. Whereas, you know, they train monkeys to do pro wrestling moves. They'll watch that stuff because they love pro wrestling. And at this point, you either come to terms with that and find a way to get those people who maybe have shied away from your product and are watching something else to where now you get them back, or you even get new fan bases, or you just stay stuck in the mud.
Right. And you always got to evolve. That's what about. And now that you have a parent company in front of you, like a TKO that wants to continue invested, they want to see investment in their product. How do you invest yourself in the product? You grow the product. You find different avenues. Not just WWE is doing record gates, selling out arenas, merchandise. That's all. And if that's an agreement for TNA to want to work and see, why not align yourself with something that's working in a working relationship? We've seen it done before. We saw it done. We've seen it done. And as much as we attack the con man and all elite wrestling, he wanted to work with New Japan. I know people have their own reserve about that. And that seems to work with their Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Also seeing some of the wrestlers. Of course, most of them came from the indies. Of course, AEW was founded on the independent circuit. We know the history with a lot of ex-WWE guys that are released afterwards, but it was founded with indie wrestlers and New Japan talent that were in New Japan that came and helped AEW grow. And then, of course, the ex-WWEers. And now you see the Forbidden Door where now they have that working relationship where now AEW now signs them full-time. I could see where Vince McMahon gets a little bit, I don't want to work with other people because because I did that. He did it himself in the territory days, poach all the talents and the big names from all these little territories, and they had a fold. I know Triple H is a history buff. I don't know if he'll allow that. I don't think he will. But he's at the end of the day, he's just in head of creative. Nick Khan is vice president. There's still another person that's TKO Holdings. Hopefully they don't allow that where they allow their big stars where they go budget cuts, they go elsewhere. It's always to keep an eye on that. History tends to seem to repeat itself. Hopefully it's not against the WWE this time around.
You're absolutely right about that. I that was so well said. I just had a thought I wanted to add to that. In regards to history about talent being poached and things of that nature, I think that as scary as that is, I think what's even scarier is the new territory that WWE is in. Because I'll say something that, now that the deal has happened, I've never been one to, watch what people do with their pockets and things of that nature. But in regards to it affecting the product that I consume, I will tell you, when I first heard the potential of WWE being brought by a parent company, I didn't like it. Because I thought the possibility of the product being changed would have been very eminent. I thought the possibility of letting go certain names and putting in people that they wanted would have been right there at the top of the list, because people with money at that level tend to be arrogant. That comes
Very.
with knowing that you've been successful all this time. It comes with an arrogance.
Yeah. I agree with you on that because that was one of my worries because when they want to make cut, they always try to go for the most expensive or the high price talent where they say, you know what, we could build a new high price talent, we could build the next understudy, and save us a couple of dollars here, and that's what a lot of these big companies do. That was one of my fears when we saw that, and look, this is not even a year that this merger has come out, so you never know. When but as long as WWE continues to sell record breaking events like house shows there's over 15,000 people going where it's not even televised, and the merch sales, it's going to be difficult for a parent company to want to tell them cut payroll or cut. In fact, there's a lot of speculation, especially this year. That would have been a rough year for them to say cut payroll, especially when this year there's a lot of hot free agents, and my God, there's a lot of free agents. One of them is a former women's champion, former NWA's women's champion, Camille is exit the promotion. Of course, we know that she finished obligations for Billy Corgan, NWA, and now seeking a new deal. Indication is that she's 100% on WWE's radar, and I think that's where she's going to land. I think Royal Rumble, or maybe the day after Royal Rumble, I could see where Camille makes her entrance back. But personally, I would like to see Camille get acclimated in the WWE via NXT.
I've never seen this wrestler Camille, so I have to do my research. But I don't know if you could tell me about her and her style. And
she's another, but this way, more wrestling ability, but she fits and checks the box like another. Not exactly. She not the same aura, but she has a Rhea Ripley to her, like another Rhea Ripley,
okay,
another
but
Jade
I,
Cargill style, like power, but with
okay,
some maneuverabilities. But this lady actually could do some move. There's a flex, and I'm not saying Rhea can't. There's something like that. There's an
there's a
aura about Camille
flexibility.
around her that she's not a stiff, overpowered woman. Personally, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if Jordan Grace or Camille, I'd rather have Camille
Oh
over
hell
Jordan
yeah,
Grace. And Jordan Grace is a big powerhouse, but
yeah, but she's not.
Camille
It's
is
too.
so much taller
Yeah.
and it's like wow, Amazonic. That's a perfect word. She's an
Okay.
Amazon. Like wow,
Okay. All right.
Oh,
All right. And then body no, but body type wise, you're saying it's closer to a Rhea Ripley, Jade
correct,
Cargill. So
correct.
she she's gonna have lasting power because she's just a bigger athlete.
Right. And
Okay.
especially you put it there with and with a Bianca, because remember WWE have a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with all, because they could come in all different shapes and sizes. Look at Roxanne Perez is going to be a superstar in the WWE for years to come, and she 5'5", but the WWE have these women that are also Amazonic, and you have and you put, just think about having a Royal Rumble and all these names there. You have a Camille, Bailey, Bianca, Jade. You put your Drea in there. You put a Camille, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel Rodriguez. You see the pattern of the way the ladies are. My goodness, that's a wow factor.
Okay. All right. If you're telling me she's that type of athlete, and how long has she been wrestling?
That I don't know how long of a wrestling career. I could always find. I believe she just turned 32 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get
Okay.
the yeah.
But she's probably been wrestling for a while now, because if she's that comfortable in the ring, it isn't just new to her.
Yeah, 31 years old. She's 5'10". So
Okay.
her 5'10" makes her feel like she's like 6'2", to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's some certain women that, or wrestlers, and that the way they conduct themselves look like they're like larger than life.
Mm.
Gunther is only 6'4". He feels like he's like a 6'8" giant. Just
Yeah.
the way he conduct himself, in that ring. So Camille is very much on that mold there. Interesting to see how long she's been in the business. I'll find out in a minute. for her, but I kind of want like to see her definitely in the WWE. She did phenomenal job for NWA. She was the female face for the NWA. She made her debut in 2017. Not a lot in the business. That's why I say I would like an NXT run
Okay.
for Camille. Remember, there's also had that COVID time, so she, NWA probably was shut down for a full year, not doing anything for Camille. But it'll be nice to see her. Definitely. Get an opportunity. And she's from the 3D Academy. So she has
All
some
right.
good coaches.
All right, Jet. All right, Jedi.
That's from
Yeah,
Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley.
that might be an NXT debut.
Yeah, but also they can help
But
her
I
with the
wouldn't be.
psychology. I haven't heard her promos. I'll be honest with you, I have not heard her speak on the microphone. So
But
I
I
wouldn't tell
will
you she
say
has the it factor.
okay. But I will say this: if she does have the promo ability, or at least some, she can stand on her own 2 feet. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up, being a Monday Night Raw debut, not because Rhea's there, but because I think she can already run a like the roster on Raw would already be more accommodating for her size. She can
Right.
already run a program with Indy Hartwell. She can already
Yes.
run a program with Zoe Starks and
Yes.
Shayna Baszler
Yes.
and Becky Lynch.
Ivy Niles because of
Might run
the
into
physique.
Yep. Might run into Nia. You never
Yes.
ever know.
You never know there. Another name that I want to throw out there that they're speculating returning to the WWE. I thought, and I got to give Chris the Flash credit when we saw this months ago with the TNA name and going to the Endeavor platform for their TV rights. He mentioned Naomi returning and he said a Royal Rumble appearance, one off the same way Athletic said Mickey James a few years ago with the Impact Knockouts champion there, but they're saying she's returning. Rumors has it that her time in TNA has gonna come to a conclusion. Not expected to resign there. Prove herself that she could be a face of a female company for as in the female division, the Knockouts division. Done a phenomenal job and WWE bound Athletic. Naomi's the one returning. Where a couple of weeks ago we thought it was Sasha Banks. Although we're going to talk about Sasha in a minute. Who would have thought Naomi would be the one hot and heavy quicker to WWE than Sasha?
I mean, I think it's to me it's obvious. She wants to be back. Where her husband is. I don't know if they were on SmackDown together during her final days in the company, but I think she just wants to be back, man. It's where she's grown. And a lot of other wrestlers have grown and moved on, but I just feel like she's doing what's best for her. You know what I'm saying? To come back to the company. She sees that the atmosphere is bright right now, as a lot of people see in WWE. Is at the best. The product is at the best it could be at this point, and it's thriving still. So she wants to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And they accommodated her, and she's back. You know what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time where she's gonna return. That's the only thing we're looking forward to.
I
Right.
think at this point, like when you really look at it, I'm in the same agreement with Athletic, but it's for a different reason. Is when you ask yourself this question, like, what other mountain is there to climb in TNA?
Interesting. So let me ask you a question with that. Do you think it was too soon for Scott D'Amore and TNA to make her champion immediately and not have her have a little bit of a chase where maybe they could have, because I believe she was a big part for people to want to watch more of TNA with her there, at least TV wise, pay-per-view wise. But do you think they kind of could have made her wait a little more? Look, we've seen Cody Rhodes, it's going to be a year now and still didn't, have one title opportunity at WrestleMania, fell short, and he's chasing. But you know how invested could TNA, maybe TNA and Impact could have made her wait just a little longer.
They could have, but this is also, it's they were. I think both her and the company were learning.
Okay, fair enough on that. And now where her returning. remember these two ladies left at the same time. Now Mercedes Bernardo, as we speak now, has been rumored that she might have signed a deal with All Elite Wrestling, 5 years, 25 million. I'm gonna call on BS on that. I don't believe it, although I'm in the minority. I'm way in the minority. I might be 5% in the minority saying that she didn't sign with AEW. But you know what they say? Oh, you're just being a WWE homer. No. The reason why I have my thoughts is she left the company right before there was a sexual scandal. I'm not saying she's part of the sexual scandal or part of it with Vince. No. I think she was right. The booking, John Laurinaitis. You know, I mentioned it before on the streams. I think he just doesn't know how to relate the message to them about the 6-pack challenge. The ladies was frustrated with the tag titles. They worked out. Perfect storm for them to exit. They probably knew about something was coming up, and they, you know what, more. So they had a perfect storm to do what they did to walk out there because they already had a lot of turmoil, more negative stuff. My thing is, if you left, remember, this is not the first time she left WWE. She left for mental health issues or just needed a mental break. You know, the crowd and all that, the ins and outs of wrestling business. Why would she go to All Elite Wrestling where right now Chris Jericho is being alleged or for a lot of sexual conduct? We already saw the immaturity of the locker room with CM Punk, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Jungle Boy. I mean, the list is on and on with all the different things there. Kylie Ray leaving, Sonny Kiss. So many different things in there. Why would she want to go? I know money talks, BS walks, but you could pretty much make the same amount of money, get even more global exposure in the WWE. Actually, get even if she really wants to transition to the Hollywood, which you see her in The Mandalorian has a big role. Why would she go? That's why I don't think she's going to AEW. Athletic Minds, and I'll throw it to Chef. What do you think, or you want Chef to go first? Athletic. Let me get Chef go first because I know you want to go on something about Sasha there. So Chef, give me your thoughts. Sorry about the mismatch there.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to go to AEW because I'm gonna just keep saying this. Like, the only way you showcase, I've never said this before. This is the first time I'm ever saying this. The reason why Rock and Cena are able to make that transition to Hollywood, the reason why Kane was able to make that transition to Hollywood, Stone Cold, a lot of those big names, was not just because they were big, but also because they were in the important storylines. So within an important storyline, you have to have the ability to make a wrestling fan feel a range of emotions. It's not just one note all the way. The greatest storylines give you a range of emotions. And in Hollywood, the greatest actors give you a range of emotions. That's the correlation between those two. And that's why all these people are able to make their transition. Dave Bautista, another one, who now a lot of people, when they start looking back at his time in WWE, they start really, like, I'm seeing it, the revisionist history. First, a lot of people hated Dave Bautista's time in WWE. And now they're revisiting the history going, damn, we really had it good. And we kind of just, we watched it and we were there, but I think we really didn't take it for granted. We took it for granted at the moment. So that's what I'm saying right there. Those correlations happen. And for you to be involved in those type of storylines, it doesn't, like, maybe someday it'll happen in TNA. But right now it's not going to happen in TNA. And it damn sure ain't happening in AEW. Because the beautiful thing about it is, in Hollywood, you just have another star acting alongside you. But in the WWE, you kind of have that, but in the same note, you need to have a great across from you. And sorry to say it, neither of those companies have that right now.
Fair to say. Remember, in Hollywood, you have takes. If you don't get it right the first time, you could do it again. Takes. This isn't live on TV, in living color. When you're doing these wrestling promos and all these storylines, you only get one shot to entertain the crowd, and if you got to make the best of it.
Right.
All right.
I
Mm-hmm.
think and I just want to say this about the whole thing because I seen a couple reports about it. I don't know how true they are because they are reports
Mm-hmm.
saying that she basically priced herself out. She saw what Charlotte got and she wanted more than that or equivalent to that. And if that is true, it's like, bro, come on, bro. You're not Charlotte Flair, bro. I gotta be 100% honest with you. Charlotte Flair is the gold standard of the division. She took the division to heights. I mean, you were part of that too, but Charlotte is their most valuable asset, in my opinion. She's not only has she thrived herself, she has made others around her better. She's given back as well. Look at Rhea Ripley now. Rhea Ripley got her moment against Charlotte, not once but twice. Not once but twice. So it's like, come on, bro. I know what she tried to do, and she tried to, do with the tag titles, and she wanted better booking and all that, and she left. Now she's coming back with this attitude like I'm worth more. Just because Triple H did doesn't mean he's gonna be a friend, bro. He's still gonna be the businessman at the end of the day. He's not gonna coddle you because y'all have a better relationship than you and Vince had. So I just think if that report is true, she's going about this the wrong way. I think she's a valuable asset, but not as much as Charlotte, bro. I mean, Charlotte is like, bro, she's the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time in wrestling to me. So it's like, I don't know. She think, and of course I understand that she should think that of herself. She should think that she is better than Charlotte as a competitor. But let's face reality. That's all I gotta say.
Let me
I,
ask you. Guys, Chef. I
sorry,
was
I
going to
just
ask
want
this
to
question.
hold
Mhm.
up. I just got because I remember it was Monday Night Raw, man. I said it watching Rhea Ripley coming down to the ramp. I was like, man, oh man. Looking back at it now, even though it felt a little rushed, it was still perfect storytelling. Because now that, oh my God, Athletic, as God is my witness, you
Yep.
are speaking the gospel right now.
Yes, sir.
Here's a simple question I ask.
Mm,
Remember, Ronda had the title, and it
right.
could have been Ronda as far as like the competitor, but Ronda doesn't have the prestige of Charlotte, and she does not have the promo skill.
Nope.
So, other than Charlotte Flair, for the women's main event of a WrestleMania, who could have been across Rhea Ripley to legitimize it?
It's only one. There's only one name I'm thinking of right now. So literally only one.
And it's not Sasha Banks, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. No,
Mm.
it's definitely one. It's one of the four horsewomen for sure. But it's not Sasha Banks, bro.
Yeah. I was going to ask this question. Merchandise wise, who's going to sell more merch between these two ladies, Sasha Banks or Bianca Belair? I'm not even going horsewoman to horsewoman.
Oh, that's a good question.
It's
And
Exactly.
Bianca.
Exactly. Who the little girls have ponytails of? It's
oh
Yo,
yeah,
Bianca.
that's true. Yeah, Bianca. Yeah, that's true.
yo, I remember literally, I was just about to ask a question on a Friday night SmackDown stream. I was like, yo, why doesn't Bianca at least flirt with the idea of turning heel? And just as I was about to why I was like, why doesn't Bianca? And I stopped myself because the camera panned right to three little girls sitting in different sections, right? Two black, one white, but they all had the ponytail and they just twirling them like she's here, she's here. I said, nope, that they're not ever running away from that money.
What's going on, Chris? How are you? Yeah, that's why I brought that there. And again, it's not talking negative about Bianca because we all will love her back in the WWE. We want her to come back home. This is her home. This is where she is. The way Triple H, the way her takeovers with Bailey, there is a storyline for her that fits. Talking about, and again, if the WWE, the reason why you walked out because you didn't like the storyline with the tag titles, well, Mercedes there is a storyline for you here in the WWE and SmackDown with your best friend Bailey. You know, who you saw Bailey fly across the damn part of the world to watch you debut, where they could put a storyline for you with the Horsewoman as well until Charlotte gets back. You have Damage Control, who's only going to get bigger, I believe, because I believe Gilead will be signing with WWE in March, and that's going to add more to the Japanese faction that is called Damage Control. Now they're going to, and there's a big storyline that you can make money. This is they're on a precipice of having a female bloodline, but with the Damage Control with the Japanese fashion. And we'll talk about the Japanese because we're starting to see WWE rumored now. We already seen it in place working with All Japan Wrestling, where Charlie Dempsey is doing a hell of a job there in the tournament. He pinned the Triple Crown champion. I believe he had a match earlier today. I don't know the results yet. I will be looking for Charlie Dempsey's match there for NXT. Also, we heard that they're going to now work with Stardom. You know, we're opening the door with the Japanese market. WWE is going to be seen even more greater because you're going to see Japanese talent being enhanced, or not enhanced, but being elevated in that market, in WWE and around the globe. So there's a storyline for her. And if you're going to get paid almost similar to a Charlotte makes or get paid highly, and you're going to sell merchandise across the globe, because let's face it, I'm not shitting again on Only Wrestling. Their merchandise doesn't really sell. My sons were last week at Dynamite. That merchandise, that merch stand looked pathetic. You look like that was from the Goodwill. The
Oh,
way that, no, seriously, I got pictures.
yeah.
They had the most crappiest t-shirts, and it was so small. It looked at dingy presentation wise and everything. Crap. Again,
Wow.
yeah. I even saw the Long Island on World's End, and this is Nassau Coliseum. The way the presentation of their merchandising and the way it looks very below par. And a lot of these wrestlers make a lot of money in merch. I don't know. They're gonna probably pay you a lot, maybe, but get good luck if that's the case. Good luck coming out at 9:30 for 10 minutes, and maybe and not and maybe the one what the fifth match on a 15 match card on a pay-per-view.
Man, I'm about to say something that maybe it's just my brain. Maybe it's my brain going through loops. But wouldn't it be so Triple H Paul Levesque like that he planted these stories so that when Mercedes Moné comes back, and could you give me some of the copyrights that she just recently got?
Banks, Monet Bank. It's all these.
It's all this money talk, right?
Yes.
And she just quote unquote got priced out of WWE, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it be quite the quite the pop that when she comes back and she cuts a promo, doesn't money talk, and Mercedes Moné is now here and all that? Wouldn't it be Paul Levesque to do that?
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, and that's why as much thank you, Endeavor, for not just for not messing up the cooks, man. You just let the cooks you brought the restaurant, but then hey, I don't even want to know what y'all put in the recipe. As long as it make me money, do it. That's it.
Right. And again, there's nothing wrong with she goes to All Elite Wrestling. Good. We'll support her. But we know the plateau and the ceiling is going to come immediately for her. And for her to be locked in for 5 years, that's going to be a tough one to swallow.
Oh yeah, that don't even make no sense, bro. If she's any type of if she has any type of brands, why would you sign to a company that is literally not thriving right now for 5 years, bro?
Dude, you want to know?
So this got to be BS, bro.
Wait, it's got to be. You want to know how crazy that sounds? Dude, Vince went to Cody, and Cody signed a 2-year.
Correct.
Vince
was desperate.
Cody.
Bro, good point. That's a real good point. And Cody was and Vince was desperate because you know that getting Cody was a game changer. He went like they say hat in hand and humbled himself to Cody. He didn't say come to Titan Towers, pal. He went to Cody.
Yep, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's that they. I can't wait for the day Cody have his documentary, man. It's gonna be beautiful, man. Cause
his
I
second
mean,
one.
because
Yeah.
yeah, no, the first one already is crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
what is it like? What is it like? It was like 45, 50 minutes or longer than
Yeah,
that.
and it was beautiful
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah, I didn't watch
And
that.
the
I gotta watch that.
visuals they had of him walking through the desert and picking up the gimmicks he had and then dropping them, but then making them a part of him. And you eat yo. That's why I say literally, like it's Vince had to come hat in hand because when you just look at the night American Nightmare gimmick, you just go, "Oh my God, he's a genius! It's perfect."
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
Like
gotta watch that.
it's so like the American Nightmare gimmick is so perfect down to every single detail. It's like this man is a it's a wrestling genius that you just go, how the hell did I have this in my company? I didn't let him explore his genius and he left to go do it somewhere else. And now he's about to be my competition. I can't have it be this way.
Not only that, what did CM Punk say? In his promo has nothing to do with Cody, but his CM Punk's he said a wise man told him to go reinvent himself, do it elsewhere, and then come back. And you know what? You could see that with Cody Rhodes. He had to go elsewhere, prove it, and learn a little bit of a style, learn something different in New Japan and in the indie circuit. And when he put
Dude,
together that, and right now, I know wrestling fans don't want to hear this. Right now, and we're gonna have a whole video on which makes sense between Rock and Roman, but that's a whole separate video because that's gonna be just for that, talking about how we will book it, where she wrestles. But I want to talk about Cody. I'm gonna give this real quick. I don't think Cody is gonna go at WrestleMania against Roman. I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Dave LaGreca on Busted Open is having a conundrum," and
oh
I don't
yeah,
like his. I don't like the way he's spewing to don't follow the product. He's throwing WWE hate propaganda, although he says it's not because he's his fandom. But when people hear you and sound like that, oh, they're gonna revoke. They don't want to watch. You're saying all over Sirius Radio with millions of people listen to you not to like the product. If Cody doesn't get, if him as a fan doesn't get doesn't get his way and get him win the story. There's a story here when everyone doesn't see away from wrestling, business wise, money wise. Rock and Cody makes Rock and Roman makes more money. Big name draw. You could still have Cody win it later down the road. Also, Cody Rhodes right now, he is 38 years old. Yes, he's going to be world champion. You know what Cody Rhodes is doing right now? He's learning how to be the next person, the next Triple H, the next person that's going to take over the now maybe not WWE. Maybe he'll go elsewhere, start a new company, take over TNA Impact. Maybe hey, he might even go back to AEW and take Khan out and become the runner of that's his baby, baby that he helped form, but he's learning how to be the next wrestling mind that's gonna take over because Triple H is 58 years old. Vince will be probably gone. We need the next promoter to take and revolutionize wrestling for the next 40 years. And I think that mind is coming out of the Rhodes family and along with maybe he'll align himself with the smart people around him, but he's learning the business. He knows what's good for business because if he didn't, he would have been selfish and he would have been the champion last year. He said he good for business. You think if that wasn't good for business, he would have his family sitting in front row, all of them there to see them to lose like that? He knows it was good for business because guess what? He is the most over baby face right now, making money, and he knows there's a longevity record there with Roman Reigns. He's a smart man. People don't see it because they're lost in their fandom and their feelings. And again, I want Cody to win this title because it feels good, but it's business wise. The company right now is selling out. Roman don't sell, only wrestles 11 times a year. He has an he has a low immune system. that right now, what do you want him to drop it? You want him to drop it in Sheboygan when no one watched? No, it's something big. Let the cooks cook. Sit your ass down and enjoy the food and eat. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, man, you're absolutely right. And the other thing too is that like just be patient because I like yo, as much as I want Cody to win, even I know it's just not ready. Like, yo, I want to eat the cake too, but it ain't even risen yet. The
Exactly.
oven just got to 10. So now when I
Exactly.
put it in there, like it's still at the temperature from out here. The batter cold. Let it get to temperature first. Because this ain't
Exactly.
even like the real pop is when the fans have no choice but to rush the stadium for him, rush the ring for him. That's what they want. And it's not there yet.
Right.
I'm not
And
ready to rush a ring for Cody yet.
people
I
are
don't,
like, oh,
I,
go ahead,
I don't,
Sante, man. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I don't think it's rushed. I totally disagree.
That's fine.
I definitely get the business part that you're saying because the Rock and Roman Reigns is something that has been talked about for years. Like I still think it's a better business move. If I'm them, if I'm trying to create the most revenue, I'm doing that at WrestleMania. But I feel they put themselves in a situation where I get the record and all that, but Roman Reigns, his reign was monumental either way, even if he goes or even if he doesn't go on to break Hulk Hogan's record, it's monumental because that sort of thing hasn't been done in decades. What he's doing with that reign, So I feel as though they booked themselves into a corner, still having this belt on him, bro. Because this match with The Rock could have happened. Look, it could have happened last year, right? Last year he was still champion. You know what I'm saying? So either way, like Roman Reigns goes over the Rock, right? At WrestleMania 39. Let's say that. He goes over the Rock at WrestleMania 39. He still has the belt. Then we go through a whole nother year, and now we at this year's WrestleMania 40. Then he faces Cody. Cody beats him. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the whole thing with The Rock, I get it. I'm not trying to shit on. I want to see it. It makes the whole story comes full circle. But in terms of Cody, like it being rushed, I think is not long overdue, but it's just his time. Like The Rock is an old man. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but like I said, I just wish it happened sooner. But inevitably, whatever happens, say they do it at Elimination Chamber, they have The Rock lose to Roman at Elimination Chamber, then we have Cody beat Roman. Roman will be absolutely a beast at that point because he just beat The Rock. Then he's going into WrestleMania to face Cody. But at that token, it's like Elimination Chamber feels cheap to have him face The Rock at. It's not the same atmosphere at WrestleMania. So it's just a lot of different variables that I really would like to see how it plays out.
And I'm glad we said that because we're gonna hold the Rock and Roman and what if with all that with Cody for a whole entire video because that's just a teaser. So stay tuned for that. That's why you have to follow and subscribe to the Heal the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network. Because we're gonna do a whole entire thing, give that just that and talk about that there because I have more to that. Like you mentioned there, like you said, what if this happened? If I have a lot to say with that. I'm gonna say this, Room Tease in Australia, Samoa is not that far from Australia geographic wise. That's why I'm going to leave it there. That's a teaser. We're going to get into that in depth. So I can't wait which direction they go. If they go Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania, that what makes fun. That was a good one. That was a good spirit conversation. I could have opened up a door. Again, I want to do that also for another time and place here. I got the numbers for Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw went up against the college football um, playoffs. So the second round, the second leg of the playoffs for before the national title, it drew 1.75 million. Yes, with The Rock there, phenomenal job.
Yeah,
People are watching.
wrestling is peaking right now, man. Not peaking, but because we know what the peak of wrestling was, but you know, it's really on a uprise right now. Triple H, man, yeah, this should have been in control. I was so I know a lot of us were so frustrated with Vince being in his stubborn ways, not changing with the times. It's getting irritating, bro.
But it's good. You know what? Better Nate than ever because now it's thriving. Everybody wants this product more, and more because now we have an announcement tomorrow by Triple H. People think they're speculating. Of course, what we just talked about to open up the show. There's also speculation maybe where we're gonna have WrestleMania 41 next year, or could it be now he's introducing a woman's mid card title. If you had the pencil, if you had the direction, if you're Triple H tomorrow, what are you announcing? Athletic, what are you announcing if you're Triple H? That's gonna be that everyone stop the press. You gotta listen to me. Because he doesn't do that if it's something done, not to tell us that he's gonna give more butter on the popcorn.
Oof. With this man, he's unpredictable, man. That's what's great. He's not like Vince, where he's predictable. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, but like we discussed earlier, it just if it's a big announcement, it all aligns with the timing of TNA going to PLE now, and the whole thing with what are they TKO is just it has to be something with it. It has to be. If not, it'll be even more unpredictable if he comes out with something we didn't even expect. So I just love him. Just keep hitting us with the unpredictability. Just keep doing it, man, because it keeps us on our toes.
It does keep us on our toes. There's so many different things that they were speculating what Triple H's thing is. Chef Yoto, anything else come to mind that you might think of that he might be saying, letting us know? I mean, you never know.
Man, Jedi, I hate you so much. I'm in total agreement with you guys. It could be that it does line up with the TNA thing, but also it wouldn't be past him to be trolling Tony Khan and just saying he's adding someone to the roster.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Wow.
I don't think he petty like that, bro. I don't think.
No. Have you seen him before as a Generation X? This man went he went with a tank into knock on the door of WCW to let him in while the show was live on the air.
Yes.
So this guy, him and Shawn Michaels, who are running NXT, by the way, and Shawn, and you have the Road Dogg there. Part of those guys are bold. They are bold. They're bold to a T that he might, and he listens to those slates. When you take jabs at him, he knows how to get you. He knows how to get him back at you.
Wait, let me ask you
I'll tell you right now, like there was a report out where was it Tony did something, and the reports were that like as Triple H got wind of it, he quote unquote took it personal and indicated that it's just like now that it's on. So it's like now you're seeing that whenever they're on the same days, that certain things are happening, especially on the program, and they get mad about it. Like, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now that Cena, Cody, Asuka, NXT Mania, Undertaker appearance, that one.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was blatant. I totally
a lot of people over at AE.
Yeah, that went over my head. I remember. I'm like, why is Undertaker at NXT? I told him, I'm like, what? That's crazy. And it went over my head that I think AEW has a show that day, right? Or the same.
Yes.
So I'm like,
that
wow, that
same
went over
day,
my head.
same
I'm
hours.
like, that's definitely petty work right there.
And AEW moved. They moved because of the baseball playoffs into Tuesday. And he said, "You know what? I'm gonna stack your card." He wanted to stack the card against NXT, and he stacked the card. And I was there to be in person to see it, which I loved it.
That's crazy,
yo. But when you hear of things like that, and like there's been other like the Survivor Series that was done on purpose.
Yes.
All those pictures, hell froze over. Yeah, that was done on purpose.
Yes.
That was done with malicious intent. And you see CM Punk is along for the ride because it's like, hey, I might as well.
Man, I think AEW could have been. They had all the well, I'm not gonna speak in past tense because they still could do something. I'm not gonna
Oh
completely
yeah, no,
throw
no,
it
they're
over,
not
but
buried. They're
No,
not
they're not.
buried. They
yeah,
could turn it around
but
like this.
No.
I'm coming from a perspective like Tony Khan is work. He was working with so much from the beginning. Like they could have been in a totally different position than they are now. And we know their highs and lows in companies. You know, their low may not be the same as WWE because WWE is a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But their low is it to a point where, you know, how long can they last? You know what I'm saying? Going on like this, you know, a lot of the business decisions that Tony Khan is making is hurting them in the long run. I know a lot of guys like to use long-term booking and all that for AEW. That's what they were known for. But in the long term, his long-term business decisions are not panning out. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to see them thrive and force the WWE's hand to make the product better. But even when they were doing, you know, just good, when they were white hot for a little bit, they forced the WWE to say, okay, now let's make the product better. And they're toppling them right now. Like they're like destroying them, bro. And it's bad right now. It's real bad.
They lost $34 million a
Damn.
year. Even with the Wembley show and all this other stuff, they lost 34 million. So you think they're gonna? So if you lost 34 million in profits, are you? Why would you sign someone for 24 5 million for 24 25 for 5 years or whatever the hell the number they're mentioning Mercedes 5 years? Yeah, what is it? 5 year? Yeah, $5 million a year. If you're losing money, why would you invest? You know, I know you got to invest to make, but you find another market or another way to
And
make money.
Look,
and
man.
and 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 let me just say this right quick. And being as though you just said that, I'm not trying to. This is just the reality, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes Monet. She's a great wrestler. We know she's very talented, but we just sat here and we just explained, well, at
Why?
least me, why
Mm-hmm.
she is not on the level or value of a Charlotte Flair. So you're
I agree.
bringing her to AEW for that amount of money, on top of the fact that she is a female. To me, in my opinion, I don't know how nobody else feel. Females are not the major what can I say?
Draw.
How can I say
The,
it? The
the crowd
draw,
is
yeah.
the
It's the
crowd is
males, bro.
the crowd gets when it comes to wrestling, we're still a little bit sexist, and I hate to
Yes,
say that.
and that's the reality. Now, I don't want to offend nobody, but that's what it
Right.
is. So
That's the reality.
bringing her is not gonna move the needle, bro. So you sign up for 25. That's why it's just BS. That is, I don't believe that. I don't
And you
believe that.
had your homegrown in Jay Cargill, then you let her leave.
Right.
Dude,
And I don't know what she's doing, but I'm hearing she's still in development, and I don't know.
look, I'm gonna tell you, man. It's just going back to it. You can, CM Punk, yeah, that's a major loss. Jay Cargill, that's also a major loss. All these other people now, MJF, which could potentially also be a major loss.
Yes.
All those things pale in comparison to the biggest loss because you
Yeah.
see it's Cody,
Yes.
not because of him as a wrestler, but because of him as an EVP.
That's why I tell you, Chef. That's why he's learning the business, and he understands that if he has to take a back seat here with the Roman and Rock situation, he's learning how from a business and what works best for business. Yes, personally wise, it sucks because he didn't come to be pushed back in the card. He came to be a trailblazer, but he's also learning how the business because he learned what he can and he applied it in All Elite. Now he's gonna learn the full iron sharpens iron. He's going to come now and learn from the best. That's why I agree with you. That was the biggest loss because that everything changed when Cody showed up 2 years ago at WrestleMania.
I
It's
just
just like
my
the
bad.
paradigm shift is just crazy. And man,
That was a
like
needle mover.
I'm sorry, but you just know it. Like at some point, because a lot of these, like the moment Cody left, a lot of the decisions that AEW made weren't long-term booking decisions. Everything's short-term. A lot of it is short-term. It's not, there's not the lengthiest thing they've done so far is Christian Cage and that devil thing. That's it. Everything else has been short-term, and if someone happens to catch fire, then they might run with it for as long as they can, and that's it. Nothing is long-term booking or has its place in the future. And a lot of that goes to show that there's not a lot of direction. You're just living to see tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I guarantee you, if there's one thing Vince knew just before he took that plane ride to Atlanta, it's like, hey, if he doesn't sign this contract and he sticks around over there, he's at least gonna watch our product and get enough clues and figure it out. He's gonna put two and two together to know here's the next direction that he should go.
I agree with that.
What is the name of AEW's like their WrestleMania, so to speak?
It's you could say it's either Double or Nothing. That was their first pay-per-view right now, but according to the draw, because it's in London and they're gonna stay in London, it's All In. That's
Yeah,
that one.
all in.
That one that he claimed there was 81,000. We only had 74,000. But still, at the end of the day, it's a big number. 81 or
It's
74
not
is
Wrestle
still.
Dream.
No, Wrestle Dream was something that was like no, it wasn't Wrestle Dream.
Look,
No.
I and the reason why I asked that, bro, is because I'm a huge boxing fan, right?
Yes.
And when I see, I don't know if you know Errol Spence, when he fights at the Dallas,
Yes.
the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, they were like, "Oh, he sold it out. He sold it out." And I hear from people who went to the fight that some of them tickets was going for as much as $25. You know, that's why I feel like with it, I just don't see anybody paying like crazy money to be at that event. I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's just me.
Athletic.
I just don't.
I'm gonna tell you from experience here living in Orlando. Last week's Dynamite, when they came to Orlando, they gave out 1,200 tickets the day of. I
Whoa.
purchased them from my son for both of them for Christmas, and I'm not gonna lie, I spent over $120. That's it for good seats for them. You know, wrestling is wrestling. I respect if that's what they're asking for. Is my choice if I want to pay for it or not. But I
Right.
understand this for the performers. You know, they're gonna entertain me no matter what. They weren't. My kids weren't. My sons were entertained. They went. They had fun. I didn't mind paying for it. But for them, they also when they had the Double or Nothing in Vegas, they were doing Happy Meals. You buy a Happy Meal, we'll give you two tickets for AEW. I mean, that was the joke, the running joke.
What?
There was a running joke. They were adding it with the local food chain restaurant. If you buy a meal, we'll give you two tickets because they were having problems. That's why last
Oh
year's
God.
last year's Wrestle of the Year for All Elite Wrestling was the Black Tarp because they were. I mean, seriously.
Wait. You wait. Time out. Let me make sure I'm hearing this correct. Wait. It was that bad or is that bad now?
No, it's been starting. It's been a trend. There's their arenas, and people say, "Oh, there's guys in the internet," and that's Bully Ray, by the way, who says there's guys in the internet those marks, and he gets curses that like to shit on the product. And but meanwhile, who are you to shit? Well, guess what? When the arenas are empty and people are there paying their money, and other people get tickets for free or comp or seat fillers, and you yourself buys it, you feel like a dude, like you've been dunked because the same person is in there for free. You're gonna take pictures on how the arenas are empty.
Oh
You see,
man.
he's worried about they respect the business. You should respect the paying customer who paid the ticket for full price, but since you couldn't sell the damn arena, you gave them away to make the place feel full somewhat. How is it that guy that paid is the $600 to sit in the front? Meanwhile, other people are in for free, almost close to you. Oh no, I came in as a seat filler. You feel kind of short, you feel kind of bamboozled, taken for an idiot. But you know what? Like again, when I purchased the tickets for my sons, I don't mind because the wrestlers are going to entertain me. It might sound like a contradiction, but don't tell us that we can't post those pictures and get us and not make fun of, but bring to the light that the
Shine
place is
light,
empty.
yeah.
Shine light that the place is freaking empty. Look at Edge when he first came out on Dynamite. He went to the side and he said, "Oh, wait a minute, ain't nobody here." He had to run to the other side like he looked lost. Like I never been. He thought he was like, "Where am I?" Like
Wait. That was caught on live.
Bro,
Oh my God.
if
Oh
you're gonna
my
stick
God.
around after this is off air,
Yes.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
the tarp is entering Roman Reigns status of acknowledgement of longevity in AEW. I mean, look like 1,200 days and plus. He's gonna break Bruno Sammartino's
bro,
record by the time
bro,
they're going if they don't change things around.
That is
A
crazy.
card that gets an infinity cover.
I mean,
Wow.
and it's not shitting on the product, but here's the thing: why does people go after? Why are you guys shitting on AW? We're not. But when the owner comes out such smuck arrogance, like he and case in point, Tony Khan, last week on Monday Night Raw, not this one, that not day one, the one on Christmas Day, it was the best of Monday Night Raw. Hey, drew a little more rating. It's Christmas Day. People are with their families having Christmas dinners. Oh, you know, if you're a Latin family, you're partying, you're listening to music, whatever. You're fraternizing. No one's sitting around just to watch wrestling best of. It wasn't even live. Dynamite drew that number. We were the number one wrestling company show in all of wrestling last week. Because you were live, and it was a non-Christmas day. It was a Wednesday where kids are off from school. People are, they're a little bit Christmas out, partying, whatever. They're home, it's cold. They're gonna watch it, and the number wasn't that high either for you to be arrogant about being number one. See, those are the things that pisses you off with the schmuck, because then he's so arrogant to look what we did, look what I could do. He's the steward from Mad TV. Look what I could do. Yo, shut the hell up and let us the fans give you your flowers and accolades. Don't come in here and do this. And no one likes a person that wants to pat their own self on the back. And that's the problem with Tony Khan.
Man, bro, I just watching this whole thing play like, and with what Chef was saying the other day about like he was touching on the fact that Tony Khan, like the people around him, like they're just I don't know, like they're no, it was you actually. I think it was you. You were saying the people around him, like, or the trainers, they're telling the guys to do one thing and he goes and he coddles the wrestlers, and I don't think that's the thing that's gonna change, because he's another one who's just stuck in his ways, like Vince, but in the worst way,
Right.
not in a way that's really keeping the company, on just at a steady pace. It's just dropping and dropping and dropping. It's bad.
You know what it is at Drake Mine? When he came into the business, he had the mindset, I'm going to be different from Vince. I'm going to change the business. I'm going to be a trailblazer. Well, you had Cody, and to the degree, the Bucks and all that, being innovative with the matches and the booking. Yeah, he knew how to make matches what the fans wanted to hear. But the other spot, and again, I always said it, he's a hell of a bookmaker when it comes to bring this match versus this wrestler, these styles. Go for it. Yeah, I'm going to give what the people want. That's fine. But the other stuff he fails at. And again, because he doesn't have Cody to no, let's do this and this, along with others in his ears. And that's what's the problem, because he says, you know what, I'm gonna love everyone because you guys I'm gonna love the guys so much. Not saying, and you don't have to be a prick with everyone either. Because Vince, you hear stories, Vince they will love. He was one of the guys. He would from Jimmy Corderas, the former referee for WWE for many years, the Greek goddess, the Canadian heat magnet. He would say Vince was one of the guys after the shows were over. He would like to go to the hotel, have a little bit of Jack Daniels, like to get out. He goes, "You call that dancing, pal?" He used to like to dance, but when it came down to when it's time to go and WWE business and time to work and put on a show for the fans, he was all business.
Yeah,
He
he's a
would say,
workhorse.
right. And he would go and have conversation. He said Vince would actually sit in catering with the talent to eat. Sit there and have a meal with them and sit with them in talent. Not just, I'm gonna give me my food to Gorilla to my office, pal. No, he would go to Gorilla. They would go to the catering, sit and eat with the talent. How you guys doing? But once that was over, back to business.
This is random, but I want to get y'all take on this. This would be a little funny. What do you think the interaction would be like if Tony Khan ever in a way runs into Paul Levesque or Vince McMahon in any type of scenario?
I think I'll be professional. I think that because I think at the end of the day, these people are professionals. They're not running a multi-billion-dollar company, both men, and being non-business etiquette. They would. It's not going to be like if it was myself meeting someone from another channel that that we don't see eye to eye. We probably will say something nasty to each other on the street or tell them, go F yourselves. These people, the way they tell them, screw you, I'm gonna F yourself, is by beating them with the ratings and talent and making money. That's how,
Right.
that's how these billionaires will settle their quarrels or their disagreements, but despite who can make more money. Haha, I made more money than you, pal. I think that's how they attack each other. Not like us comment, like yo, I'm gonna my channel, I'm gonna bury your channel, I'm gonna take all your subscribers, yada yada. I don't know. I think I'm using that as an example, but I think these people will act civil. They could be. I'm pretty sure they probably been together in the same places. I'm pretty sure they've been in meetings with the same talent. At the same time, trying to woo them for free agency. Wouldn't surprise me. It's the same thing as an NFL, MLB, or any professional athletes. When you have rival companies or rival teams and agents there, I could see that they're, but I think it'll be civil because they're professionals.
What about you, Shaq?
Yeah, I think that I'm in the same agreement because like they would just go like they would be civil with each other and then go back like, yo, watch as
Yeah.
I draw more money than him, make him change how he feeds his kids tonight. They think of stuff like that.
The reason why I really asked that is because I know the nature of Tony Khan. We talked about him being a beta male. Like, I just know he will be quaking in his boots. I already understand that they're not gonna be on no foolishness, trying to fight each other or trying to be unprofessional. I'm well aware of that. It's just more so how Tony Khan will react because he's so timid in his skin. It's like I know he will be quaking in his boots in the near presence of them guys. Just because of the nature of him. You know what I'm saying? Like. He strikes me as a guy who throw not well, I could say that he throws rocks and hides his hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, strikes me as that kind of guy.
I bet you one thing he don't mind throwing is money. That's what makes him a bully. Money.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
A scared person will throw money at a bully to try to overcompensate for certain aspect.
Yeah, I think at this point, people that's going over there, they're like, it's like all right. So there's the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the big three. Like as for some of these stars who are aging, they going over there for the check. Like this is just like the big three for them. Like for something like Edge, come on, bro. Like hang it up. To me, like hang it up. You had a wonderful career, a triumphant career. Hang it up. You got nothing left to prove, bro. Like I get the love for the wrestler. He said, I think I seen someone say he has 2 years. He's gonna wrestle for 2 more years. Okay, cool.
Right.
That's what you want to do. I support it. He's Edge at the end of the day. But I just feel like a lot of these guys, like it's so bittersweet to see Edge and his career over there, if he does, and then come back and maybe get in the Hall of Fame in WWE, right?
Oh,
But he's
he's
most
already
likely
is. He
huh?
already is in the Hall of
Oh
Fame.
yeah, he
He's a
is.
Hall
I
of
forgot.
Famer. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's probably most likely gonna end his career over there. It's like when Tony Parker spent all them years with the Spurs, and then last year he was with the Hornets. Like
Yes.
it's like I hate to see it end like that. It's for a lot of those guys. Hopefully, Dane Bryan gives us one last run in WWE. I can see it, but he's so injury prone. Who knows? And a lot of the guys over there is injury prone. It's just so much, bro. So much.
That's the reason they didn't stick around. And they take it as offended by WWE or it's a business, and one of the best ability is availability. Bryant couldn't stay healthy. But there's so many different reasons for certain talents. We could stay here breaking down on different talent, why they're not in WWE and stuff like that. But you know what? That's fine. You're not there right now. Make the best of it. Go to All Elite. Make yourself where WWE goes like a Cody, hat in hand, and say, come back. Then you have them in the palm of your hands. Right now, you could say that. You could say that to a degree. The free agents, that's out there, Andrade. Sometimes some of the wrestlers in WWE didn't like the push, don't like the direction, whatever, and I want to get released. They think they're gonna have a better green grass on the other side in All Elite Wrestling.
Right.
And meanwhile, they're there for about a year, and they're like, this is even worse. You know what? There was a level of professionalism. Andrade Alidro is the first best example there. Now he's returning. Speculated returning back to the WWE because his time there. I don't know, Rusev. Rusev right now, if he had an opportunity to go back, he would probably say the first one in line to return. He hasn't even, they don't even use him. They made 2 shows. They have 3 shows. They made a whole new show, and he rarely gets on TV much at all.
Oh.
Pay-per-view. He was actually complaining, haven't been on a pay-per-view, and that was about a year ago. Now there's been verbal complaints of not being used or utilized there, and he left. There's so many names that we could go up and down. And again, there's also reasons why, and not just sometimes because of the draw, the money, also backstage attitude, how you put your work in, how you conduct yourself. For remember, WWE is a $1 billion entity. I understand you could quickly go look at the head, look at Vince going around doing all this crazy stuff. Absolutely, and he's paying for his sins, and he probably will. He paid for his sins financially. He paid for himself company wise because he's out, and now the whole wrestling so he's paying and continue to pay for his sins, and you can't always hide. Everything comes out to the light. You can never hide your because everything will eventually come out to the light for everybody. It's a nature of the law, and when it comes to look at Jericho, now his sins are coming out and light is being thrown on there, and that's turning into a mess. My point is, a lot of these wrestlers, they think they have it better, and sometimes it's not. And those are just learning lessons for everyone. I think I've done that in career wise. I've thought business, this job, or this company would have learned better, and I left a good thing, go over there, and I got damn, I should have just stood here because I got paid better. I knew what I could do here, what I lost, and I made this mistake. Everyone's done that, and I know it's like wrestling is almost like everyday business too. We tend to make mistakes thinking the company is better than us. Sometimes it's the best thing we did. Go to this company. I could say that myself. I've left the company that wasn't getting paid one else, and I made the most, and I had the best time ever in that company, and grew. So I understand that back and forth. That's part of their life.
So I got another question. Sorry for all the questions. I just
No, go for it. We're gonna be here for another 10 to 20 minutes because we got another game coming up in an hour and a half when we try to go off.
Who would you say that AEW's top 5 guys are right now? Like their most valuable assets, like guys they put on TV all the time, like any of those.
Man, that's a good one. Chef, you think you want to answer that one first or want me to go hit it?
All right. Top 5 for AEW. Ugh. Daniel Bryan. Christian Cage. Does Eddie Kingston show up every night?
No, Kingston isn't one of those.
Okay.
He's there. He's with them. Although, yeah, he's with them. Although he was in ROH. Yeah, he's just say yeah. Let's say yeah.
Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
You said they're top 5, right?
Top 5.
Like they put them there every night if they could.
No, it's just in terms of like they're top 5 guys. Like they're like calling audible, like we could rely on them, or they're the top guy, or anything like that. Anything you want to categorize.
All right. See now. See, once he had that qualifier right there, now I gotta change my 5th one. As soon as he said we can rely on them, I gotta change my 5th one. Jedi, you know whose name I was gonna say.
I'm all ears.
Because it can't be Adam Cole. He's too hurt, too fragile.
Damn.
His ankle goes boom. Baby.
Not only that, yeah, he had concussions. I mean, neck. Yeah.
Oh, why did I forget this guy's name? Because I don't be wanting to watch him, because he does what he does. Moxley.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say his name.
It has to be Moxley.
Man, look, I gotta. If he's, which I think he is one of the top. If he's one of your top 5 guys, bro, you're cooked, bro. I really.
Here's the thing. The AEW about a couple months ago had these guys called the 4 pillars. That means they're the 4 guys that from day one they're the pillars of the company. None of those guys that you mentioned, Chef, wasn't even part of the 4 pillars. That's how sad that flippy floppy the company
Wait,
foundation
who are the
really
four
is.
pillars?
The 4 pillars were Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, MJF, um, Sammy Guevara. Damn, who's the fourth one? Fudge, I'm missing the fourth one. I don't know if it was Neville. I don't know if it's Neville. I don't remember the fourth one. Damn, I should. And it was kind of funny because Britt Breaker threw her name in there and said, "I'm not a pillar. I'm in, and she is a. If they really go that way, Britt Breaker should have been a pillar on that for AEW to start it. But me, the marketable guys on AEW I go with John Moxley because they keep putting the title, they put him in these tournaments, they keep teasing with that All Atlantic title. He I'm on the way to becoming a Grand Slam champion for All Elite Wrestling. I'm not gonna say MGF because we don't know what his
Yeah,
status.
I
Once
didn't. Yeah,
once he signs back, he jumps to number 2 all time because 2 in front of or right next to Moxley because Moxley still gets shouted out a lot and he's a big deal for them. Khan is trying to push the narrative, giving me Daniel Bryant. I personally won't think me. I don't put Bryant there on the top 4 because Bryant has always got an injury. Now he's running around
Yeah.
like a pirate. He's running around like a damn pirate because he has a fractured overbone. And if not, this was hurt. Now that gets hurt. This gets hurt. You got to also put Kenny Omega, but Kenny now with injured. But Kenny Omega, when he comes back, they love Kenny Omega in that company. So it flip flops because he doesn't. And now I don't know. You want to say, well, where's Swerve Strickland in this whole thing?
no,
Well,
I put
yes,
Swerve in mine.
you did, but when we mentioned earlier, what makes you think that Swerve doesn't get Warlord and get totally put in a frozen vacuum? Look at Warlord now. He was one of the hottest commodity. Now he's just a stooge in a fasten. He's not even when he was the most hottest guy that should have been the next guy in company, where had Goldberg type of momentum and should have been taking that title now with the devil angle against instead of Samoa Joe. Nothing wrong against Samoa Joe. I'm not no. Samoa Joe was in the right place in the right time storyline wise. He came in. It's not his fault that he made himself I'm gonna give my hats to Samoa Joe because he earned his way now to that spot there where Warlord, I don't know what happened, he didn't rise to say, no. I'm going to continue to earn my spot. He just he let himself get cooled off by Khan. I would have been trying and at least Samoa Joe got kept himself relevant by, all right, you're not putting me in Dynamite. I'm going to go to ROH and become an ROH tag team, TV champion. And I'm just going to keep winning and keep getting momentum hot. And he earned his way to that spot. I can't shit on Samoa Joe for that either. That's not his fault. So kudos to Joe. I'm giving him his flowers. Kudos for him to get up there. And he's the champion now. So you got to put Samoa Joe in that top 4. But really, it's Kenny Omega, if you think about it. And then it's only going to get even better because Will Ospreay, when he goes to AEW, just stepping in there is going to push people. And of course, it's us to Ospreay to be booked right and put on the matches. We know he could put the matches on. Ospreay's going to leapfrog. That's why I'm a little worried about Swerve. With him, if he might be a short-lived champion. He might get Kofi Mania, and that's it. I hate
I
to
know
say that.
I know you want to throw Kenny Omega in there, but you can't. If we're going by top 5 and the qualifiers, these are the guys you can rely on. They're gonna sell because night in, night out, they're there.
But
When is the last time Kenny Omega even had a match, bro?
He had it not this pay-per-view, the one in November, but he has that divertitis. I know I butchered it, internet world, so don't I know I butchered it. What Brock Lesnar had.
Diverticulitis?
Diverticulitis. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, of
Yeah.
course, because I knew I butchered it. I know I butchered it. I know it. I know. Because we talk when you talk about AEW, you tend to botch. So I have botched the word.
How injury prone that he has all type of knee injuries, arm and leg injury. Then now he has that's just unlucky.
So does Bryant. So does Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Yep.
But if I'm telling you, if they're healthy and you're putting them on the card, people are gonna watch them. Regardless, I tell you, Kenny Omega's gonna have a match against Will Ospreay. The hardcore is like, yo, I'm gonna watch it, and they're gonna put on a hell of a match when healthy. And I get it, but then you know what I get mad is the rest of the talent in AEW doesn't step up. These guys are injured. Make yourself step up where they become just an attraction. But the talent, I don't know if it's the talent or the owner not allowing them to step up, or the talent ain't elevating to step up. And I think that's where, again, now we're going to bring to Punk. That's what Punk was trying to emphasize or teach some of these youngings about. When guys get injured or not around, it's time for you guys to step up in the card, do this, do that. That's why he was telling Jungle Boy, you know what? You don't need to use real glass. Use the fake glass because you're going to get scarred. You don't need to put your body through. You're going to have longevity in this business. This business is cruel to you. If you hurt your body, they're not going to, look at Darby Allin. Give me 5 years from now, where Darby Allin's going to be. He's not going to be wrestling in high level no more. He's not big. There's nothing for him. He's just going to be a manager. I mean, just turn him into Danhausen 2.0 because he's going the way he put his body through so much injuries.
Yeah, it's real bad, man. Like, I don't know. I hope they can get better, man. I hate to see them go down in fire, man, but
I don't
something
think they'll
has to
go
change.
down. I don't think they'll go down, but I think they'll go the level of what Impact Wrestling used to be.
And that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. But I think they're working with so much. They should be more than that. That's underachieving. They got a lot of talent. They got they the way they started, they had some of the best announcers in WWE history, some of the best commentators in WWE history. I mean, some of the best names in WWE history. I mean, so many guys in the back with such great wrestling knowledge. And now it's like, how do you, like, what are you doing? How are you going wrong? How are you screwing this up? And it's just all goes to what you said. Tony Khan's experience is lacking. He's not where Vince McMahon is, or even Paul Levesque is. You know what I'm saying? Paul Levesque he was able to study under the tutelage of Vince for so many years and absorb that, and now he's able to take over. And you know what I'm saying? And now he's like, he's in a way what Vince McMahon was at one point in time, where Vince McMahon was making a lot of the right moves. You know what I'm saying? When he was at his absolute peak.
Right. Right.
So
and trusting the talent that he had too.
Right.
He entrusted the Stone Cold to go do and push the envelope and say, we're going to do it that way. Let's go for it. Yeah, absolutely there. I was going to say, one of the other thoughts here of an announcement, could it be that Triple H is finally going to announce NXT Europe, where now Regal could be seen on TV and introduce, the general manager of your NXT Europe, Steven Regal or William Regal? Maybe that could be a name for Paul Levesque tomorrow. Before we get going, I wanted to give my thoughts there, or maybe another new TV deal for maybe we'll find out where Monday Night Raw is going to go.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. I thought about that. It's like, Regal's back, and we heard about it. NXT Europe.
Here's the other part too. What's important is the reason why this announcement is so mysterious is because it's on a night where there is usually no WWE wrestling.
Yeah, and now they're keeping everybody invested in the product, because he said this is going to be a special week to start off 2024. We saw Raw, of course, day one was electrifying, one of the most electrifying Monday Night Raws in a while there. 3 hours went by quick. We saw New Year's Evil with Carlito in WWE, in NXT down there, and Kevin Owens, and not only that, what all the different things that happened. Grayson Waller, it was a good one. Then of course today on the bump, I didn't see anything on the bump, so I got to watch the bump, and of course tomorrow that special announcement. So then you got into Friday for the SmackDown, which is going to be another kind of premium live event for Vancouver. What is he going to say? What's he going to tell us? And we're going to be excited to listen to what Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, and the WWE, when Nick Khan wants to tell us tomorrow, a special announcement. Because if they're saying they're going to make a special announcement, it's got to be something. along the lines like, oh, okay, it's not going to be, again, it's not that they're going to add more butter flavor in the popcorns, or they're going to put seat cushions underneath the seats. It's going to be something, revolutionary big here. Maybe they renew the contract for the buses for NXT, and we don't have to take our cars anymore. I don't know.
Oh, they used to do that. That's dope, man. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, we take buses. We got to go take our car in a parking lot in a nice facility in a college in the campus, and then we get ushered buses over to the performance center. Yesterday we didn't do it.
Wow.
They had to renew their contract with the buses, and but we were able to drive our own cars. But yeah, yes, but they're gonna bring the buses back. So yeah, it was nice coach buses. It wasn't no yellow school buses either. It was a nice coach buses. It's only a mile drive anyway. It's only a mile drive from the parking lot from Full Sail to the performance center. But still, you get to fraternize and conversate with everyone in the NXT universe on the parking lot, and you meet friends and you make good friends. How I met Terrence, at the NXT parking lot, who you now we're like, we'll go to wrestling together. We're, he's part of the podcast, and we get to conversate with some good people, at the NXT who love wrestling. So that's why NXT, it really hits us personally, because we get to meet other good minds in our city and have a conversation about wrestling there while we wait and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really lucky to have NXT exclusive out there to Orlando, man. If that was in New York, man, that would be a huge deal. I'm like, oh man, New York
I
is,
know.
we got a lot of wrestling fans out here, man.
I know that.
That
I
would
know
be
that
great.
going to Madison Square Garden and going to those house shows, seeing Vladimir, by the way, never went to him up close and talked to him, but I will see, there goes that, that's that guy that always at all the wrestling events front row, and I always see him. Never talk. Remember to just say go talk. I was such a young child. My uncle were like, "What do you want to talk to a grown man for?" They didn't even as a child. You don't even think about going to talk to Vladimir, But if you knew then what you knew now, you go talk to him and conversate, because he was probably a wrestling fanatic like myself, Too bad he has that Parkinson's. He'd be a great guest to have a conversation about on a podcast, to talk about just wrestling. Talk, especially with me. I mean, going being at the Garden, those house shows, and just conversate. I think I have a 4-hour stream. I mean, me and Vladimir talk about, just some random house shows with Macho Man versus the Undertaker, Undertaker or Ultimate Warrior. I'm a Rock. I mean, my God, I will. That's one thing in a bucket list. Forget about a celebrity, just to talk to that guy. If you were able to, and just our memories about the Garden house shows, forget it. I think that would be hilarious. That would be
What
phenomenal.
what was the name of that? It was so dope, man, and it was before, just slightly before my time, but in early 2000s. What was the thing they used to do in Madison Square Garden, where they used to like be fighting like in the middle of a mall? Like I don't know what it's called. Like it's where Undertaker had Tombstone, Triple H
Oh, that
on the
was
escalator.
wasn't it Saturday? No, it wasn't Saturday night's main event. I know what it was. It was oh, was it Raw Underground? No, no. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, it was a Saturday night. They will have that yeah. That was yeah. I remember that famous tombstone in the Escalade. Yeah. Yes, I remember those.
If
That was
if
really
if
good.
NXT could have been a part of the early 2000s, all the way up to now, it would be a different animal. I mean, it's already been a different animal. All the great history we got with NXT, but like for New York, if we had an NXT out here, man, like I just know, like us New York people, we just like it's just like I don't know, we just support things so aggressively. I don't know how to explain it. Like
I mean,
I just
that's
wish
what
we had that out here.
I think that was one of the reasons why WWE was so successful. It had the machine of New York City behind it. Every other week or at least twice a month, they will have a house show in at the Garden. I mean, my goodness, so many house shows at the Garden. People will go and spend a lot of money to go there. I remember those places were packed houses. At least the times I've been to a lot of house shows, they were always packed houses on a Tuesday night. They usually be on Tuesday nights or Saturday night. Those were the two nights mostly that we had the Madison Square Garden. Sometimes Sunday afternoon. But those are the most two nights that they will do a lot of house shows. And if you didn't go, if you had cable, not back then in the early '90s or late '80s, not everyone had cable. You get on the Madison Square Garden network, the MSG network, and it was just televised. You know, you have Gorilla Monsoon, Lord Halford Hayes, or Bobby Heenan. It was just phenomenal to hear those. Those good stuff. That was really in the old heydays. But man, this was great. Any other things? Because we're gonna wrap up. Because chef dinner, whatever, and then we have to come back on in about an hour and a half. So about an hour and 20 minutes coming back on. So we wanted to just wrap up.
Oh no, nothing else. That's all.
All right. So we will do a video on Rock, Roman. What if they wrestled at Elimination Chamber? What if they wrestled at WrestleMania, or the ramification and the whole mismatching of the WrestleMania card? So we ask you to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't know exactly the time or the date of that conversation. We also want to talk a little more New Year's Evil. It was a great card. At least I want to have Terrence, because we were both at the event. We all had a really good time, and we enjoyed give our little bit of our experience there. And what else is happening in wrestling? We'll find out if Mercedes do show up tonight. It's in Newark, New Jersey, by the way. All Elite Wrestling. AEW, who's been really good, at least Newark has been really good for Elite Wrestling. Hey, look, New York, be honest with you, like you said just a few seconds ago, they support wrestling. You saw that in Long Island. It wasn't a full sellout, but it was full. It was full, better than other places. So for AEW, and I was told yesterday there was a lot of upper sections a little empty, but my sons told me they was full. So I'm gonna have that it wasn't, it was not full to the top, but it was a few empty seats in the top, according to people at the NXT arena. So I'm gonna believe my sons over the outside guy, because I don't think they're gonna lie to me for, maybe because they thought I might come on the podcast and say it was empty. But all in all, it was all fun. But Newark, New Jersey, we'll see how good that event's going to be tomorrow. I can't wait to see if Mercedes shows up or not to laugh or nothing, or haha, just to see if what's the dominoes moving, like we say in Puerto Rico, in the cat. Como la ficha se mueve, how's the dominoes move? We'll find out. So again, Athletic Mind, I appreciate you jumping on again. Appreciate you, Chef
Absolutely.
Dan. We'll talk in about a couple of minutes or an hour or so, but you can hang out backstage a little bit as I run the outro. We want to thank you. Thank you for the Heel the Ring podcast. We appreciate everyone. We got a saying: if you ain't down with the Heel the Ring the podcast, we have 2 words for you. Just subscribe. We'll see you soon, people. May the sports be with you.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes.